All right, let's do this. G'day, I'm Chris. We've just hiked the Tour Mont Blanc and just got back last night, and I thought I'd just do a bit of a run through of the gear that we wore and what we carried. My backpack, here it is, without food and water, weighs 10 kilos. And over here I've got the clothes that I wore every day. So I'm just going to do a bit of a run through. I find these gear videos quite helpful to watch, and maybe you will too. So I guess I'm just going to start out with what I wore. One pair of socks. I actually wore these socks the whole time. They're icebreaker mid-weight wool, merino wool socks. Absolutely love these. So comfortable, kept us warm. And I actually ended up wearing just one pair of socks the whole trip. We did 8 days on the trail, and I washed these every single night. So I was always starting with clean socks in the morning, but I found these great, and they were dry most mornings. Most of the Refugios and spots we stopped in, we actually managed to wash and dry our clothes, so it was quite helpful. So one pair of socks. We wore Ultra Olympuses, they're the new model. Absolutely love these. These were fantastic. A real great choice. Did a lot of research. Thought we might end up with Hoka speed goats, but in the shop tried these on and absolutely loved them. They were so stable on the trail. Some really rough terrain there. I mean, not super technical, but pretty rough. Up and down the rock, slopes and that sort of stuff. Really fantastic. Warm enough. We didn't choose the Gore-Tex version, we just chose the standard normal version, and we're quite happy with that. They dry much quicker, and we definitely had a couple of days of solid rain and snow crossing one of the passes, and these were fine. Didn't use micro spikes and didn't need them, but maybe if you were trekking a few weeks later, you probably would. Just worth noting, we did our trek on the shoulder season, so we started at the end of September and finished at the start of October. So just a bit of a, I guess a bit of a note on how that might affect some of the gear we're using. So Ultra Olympuses, absolutely love them. Just in terms of a mid-weight fleece, if you're not trekking in summer, certainly in those mid-weight, those mid-shoulder seasons, you definitely need a mid-weight fleece or mid-layer. I used a puffer vest. First time I've used one on a trek, and absolutely loved it. It's synthetic, so Primaloft from Patagonia. Absolutely love this. So you get to the top of a cold high pass, very hot going up, rain coming down and wind. Put this thing on underneath your rain jacket, and it was super warm. And you can just pull it on, on and off all day, and it was really handy. So I really love this, and I'll definitely be doing that again, as opposed to a mid-weight fleece or a sort of a heavyweight thermal layer. So I really think this is a great thing. So definitely part of my permanent hiking kit. I wore long lycra underwear, so Aussie brand here, and that were great. Lightweight. Again, I actually wore one pair the whole way, washing every single night. So I always set off with a clean pair, and they dry quite quickly. So that was quite successful. Long, good for the, but better in the shoulder season. Minimum temperature for us was just below zero. Maximum was probably 20 degrees. So it was quite cool, and these were fine. Good for the chafing too. So very successful. Just in terms of a trail t-shirt, I had planned to wear a long sleeve sun shirt, but ended up wearing this every single day, and again washing it most days. I think it was one day I didn't wash it, but it's from Patagonia. It's 100% polyester, and I love this. It's good in the cold weather, good in the hot weather, and underneath the rain jacket it provides some little sort of warmth too. So this is really good, really successful, and I think next time I'll take 2 of these, so one for evenings and one through the day. So absolutely love this. So black t-shirt from Patagonia there. I have these lightweight trekking pants too. I had these for years, and these were great. I think probably these are the only thing I would change, where I'd probably wear a heavier weight set of trail pants. Not quite a shell pant, but definitely something slightly heavier weight. Only reason being is, after 2 days of wear, they get a bit loose, and not so great. So, but that's it. They were fine, and were good. Even when they got completely saturated, they're still okay. But yeah, I think probably that's the one thing I would change. It's just a slightly heavier pair of pants. But again, very good, lightweight, dry really quickly, wash most nights, and were quite good. So anyway, let's get into what's in the backpack. So I'll just talk about the backpack to start. This is a New Zealand brand backpack. The backpack itself, it's not an ultralight backpack, but it's their version of an ultralight bag. It weighs about 1.1 kilos. You can make it a bit lighter, removing the frame and the top and straps and stuff and hip belt. But I didn't do that. I don't mind carrying the extra weight. But the total weight of our packs, including camping gear, 3 days worth of food, was 10 kilos. The total weight of our pack without food and water, so the hard stuff was 10 kilos, and then we generally carried 3 days worth of food on top of that, plus a couple of litres of water, or 1-2 litres of water most days. So sometimes it got up to 12-13 kilos, but more often than not it was pretty lightweight. So yeah, 10 kilos total, just with the hard stuff. And I'll just go through what I've got in here. Obviously, we did the trek in 8 days. We had planned to camp 3 nights and then stay in Refugios the other 4 nights. We ended up only camping 1 night. That was just to do with weather considerations. So one particular night we planned to camp, it was just howling wind, and the Hotel de la Forclaz was open and they had a spare room, so it was much easier to set up to go into a hotel room for the extra cost, as opposed to setting up a tent outside in the high winds. And then the final night we'd planned to camp, it was pouring down with rain, and it just wouldn't have been safe to camp up at La Fledgerie on that last night. As I said, it was very wet, so we made an alteration and stayed in the hotel. So we actually ended up only using our camping gear once. That said, 10 kilos, not too heavy. I would definitely carry our camping gear again. I think it's always good to have backups for emergency situations and that sort of stuff, and it definitely gave us some more options. And we absolutely loved the night camping that we did camp. It was very good, and I'm sort of a bit sorry we didn't get to do it a little bit more. Anyway, let's run through the actual pack and what we took. So in the top, I have my little emergency dry bag, which contains my buff or head warm stuff, beanie or whatever. It's got a buff in it, and gloves, so I could just reach in and grab it at the top if it started to rain. So I use these outdoor research gloves. They've got a little mid-weight thermal. They've got a little rainproof cover here, which we used quite regularly because we did get a bit of rain. Probably half the days there was some sort of wet weather. So we use those. I think next time I'll probably take the mid-weight fleece, and I might get a more waterproof cover. They make another sort of heavier, more heavy-duty sort of rain cover. After about 3 hours in the rain, these soak through, but they're good until that time. That said, they did keep your hands warm even when they were soaked through, but it'd be nice to keep your hands dry. Particularly in the cold. It was often down to 0 degrees. We had, frozen rain and that sort of stuff, and definitely some snow. So, but that's all part of the experience and what we love. So anyway, outdoor research gloves, pretty good. Also in this little bag, I have my buff, which I used once or twice. So that was just there in emergency sort of situation. So I'll just pop these over here. So what else did I have in the top of my pack? Map. I definitely used a printed map quite a lot every day, and found that very helpful. Good for just double checking. I did have my Garmin watch on, and we basically used that for navigation, had the GPX track marked on it, but it was really good to sort of back it up with a printed map, and it's always sort of fun to see where you're going. So that's a waterproof printed map, and very useful. Also, I had some spare dry bags. That was the camera in as well. My little emergency kit. I won't go through this in detail, but I just will say it's got some water purification tablets, little repair sewing kit, little mini pocket knife, spare batteries for the head torch, some matches and a carabiner. So just, to deal with any, repairs or whatever that would turn up. I didn't actually use it at all, except for the purification tablets for water on a couple of days, but always good to have that. It doesn't weigh very much. Sunglasses, didn't end up using them, probably could have, so I took those. Head torch, definitely used that once or twice, but anyway, head torch, spare batteries. Waterproof, and I took the Garmin InReach, always good to have emergency communication device. Well, we didn't need it, which is great, but I think it's important to carry. So that's just what sits in the top of my pack. And my French pocket knife. Used this every single day to prepare lunch. It was very good, so awesome to do it because it's French. So that's the top of the pack. Down the side, use these every single night. Funnily enough, all the Refugios included hut shoes, so you could get Crocs at every single, so you take your boots off and they had a supplied set of Crocs, which is quite funny. We needed them when we were camping. Next time I'll try and find something less bulky, but these are really lightweight and they're great, so definitely use those. Over the other side, I bought this in Chamonix, just a little seat. I used this a few times, just good to sit on a wet rock or a bench or something like that. Doesn't weigh much, maybe 50 grams, so kind of cool. Trekking poles, we use these most days. Our tent uses these as their tent poles too, so they had to come, but we definitely used these. They were very helpful for any technical terrain, but also taking a bit of weight off your legs, pushing yourself along. So I love my poles, and definitely wouldn't do a long distance trek without them again. So they were good. I didn't use them every day, but pretty good. In the front of the pack, I should say this is a MacPack. We've been using MacPack backpacks since forever. So this is their version of an ultralight pack. It's not ultralight compared to some of the other brands, but it's pretty lightweight, 1.1 kilos. You can remove the internal frame and hip belt and everything and get it down to 700 grams, which is pretty good. But I'm not an ultralight backpacker, so just get it pretty close. But I found it good, super comfortable. It's 50 litres. And it's also a good price point too, so relatively economical. And I love this. Stretchy bit at the front. So in the stretchy bit at the front, my rain jacket. Again, MacPack rain jacket. Use this most days as either a windproof or a rain jacket. It's a bit of a heavier weight rain jacket. You don't need a super heavyweight rain jacket, but I wasn't comfortable taking my ultralight rain jacket either. So yeah, good mid sort of range rain jacket. So that lived in the front, and as I said, use that every single day. I think it's really good. We've been using this for quite a few years now, and quite happy with the way it works. I did take there's a pack cover. Everything was in dry bags, and I took pack cover as well. Probably do that again. It was okay. Also down here, I did take my ultralight, sort of lightweight rain pants. Definitely used those a few times, so they're necessary, and these are great. So they don't weigh very much. Didn't need heavier weight, rain pants, but so these were fine. Definitely take those again. All right, into the bag. Just in terms of water, here is I bought this on the trail. I had planned to take a water bladder. When we got to Chamonix to start, my water bladder had a hole in it. So I ended up carrying just a 1 litre plastic Evian bottle for half the trail. And then we got to Cormaya, and I bought that as a bit of a trail souvenir. Haven't had one for years. So 1 litre of water. And I didn't put it in. I also carried a second Nalgene 500ml bottle, and that just sat in the side, and I used that as my, every time I'd stop for a drink, I'd use that. So I only ever carried 1.5 litres of water the whole time, and that was fine. I should say my total pack weight was 10 kilos. That didn't include food and water, but 10 kilos, so pretty lightweight and pretty easy to carry, so not too bad. Once you added food and water in, got up to 12, 13 kilos. So anyway, water bottle. Here's my food bag. It's still got some stuff in it. I won't go through what we use for food, but we always carried 3 days worth of food. We definitely carried our own lunches. It just meant we made lunch on the trail, and that probably saved some cost. And because we were trekking in the shoulder season, lots of the Refugios weren't open, so we didn't really have options. We could have taken the packed lunch from the Refugios, which we probably will do next time, but it's just what we decided to do. So it saved some cost, and I don't mind carrying the extra weight. We carried a few nights worth of freeze-dried meals and some snacks, so that's the food bag. First aid kit. I'm not going to go through the first aid kit. We probably took a little bit more than you would in a race, a little bit less than you would if you were doing a backcountry adventure. Space blanket, a couple of bandages, lots of tablets, and that's it. So first aid kit. What else we got here? Thermals. So I always keep this in a separate bag. Again, waterproof. So this contains. Oh, this is interesting. So we also took waterproof socks. I just read somewhere people talking about waterproof socks in the rain and snow when you're wearing non-Gore-Tex sneakers. I didn't use them at all. I just let my feet get wet and the feet dried pretty quickly. Sarah used them one day. Ironically, on that day we had to do a fairly heavy creek crossing, which had been washed out by a bit of a mudslide, and she got wet feet anyway. So probably won't use these again, although I don't know. We've got them now. So waterproof socks maybe. Thermals. I use Patagonia. They're sort of heavier weight thermals. The Pro Fleece sort of version, grid fleece version. So one full set of thermals. Use these quite a bit. I didn't use my thermal pants, but I probably could have at night wandering around town. So my my thermals. Separate bag near the top of the pack, so in an emergency I can get into them. My little electronics bag. I won't go through. Always, you could charge most nights, so I took a charger. Took a battery pack. Didn't use the battery pack at all because we could charge most nights in the Refugios. So a couple of cables, spare batteries for the camera and the GoPro, watch charger. So not too much. And also put my passport in the electronics bag. So that's that. My stove and pot. We used this a couple of times. Definitely the night camping needed that. So that's a little MSR titanium. I won't. Maybe I will. It's pretty lightweight. I like it. 900 mils pot. If I can just get it out. There's the lid. We took a little collapsible cup to use as a bowl. I don't know, maybe this is not necessary. We ate our breakfast out of that a couple of mornings, so that was nice. Although not super necessary if you were going ultralight. I have a coffee filter, which I would use all the time bushwalking. There was heaps of coffee available, so I actually didn't end up using my coffee filter at all. But I would always take that anyway. Little MSR cup. Again, only used it once or twice. But it's coming anyway. Pocket rocket stove and lighter. You could get gas in Chamonix, and you could get gas along the way too, so lots of gas available. And then the pot itself, little MSR pot and spork. So that stuff comes no matter what. So, but didn't use it so much, but it's necessary for camping. So I'm not really into cold meals. Feels a bit soulless to me. Toilet paper. Did we need it? We use the Refugios most of the time for the toilet. I've got a little poop shovel and toilet paper, and it had some tissues in it as well, but I use those up. So that's CP. Toiletry bag. what have I got in here? Toothbrush, toothpaste. I've got a little clothesline. Didn't use my clothesline, although I've used it lots of different times on longer treks and bushwalking. So I did use the little Cedar Summit, soap leaves. I won't do those again in the future. I'll just take a little wilderness wash, some actual soap. So I did need it to wash clothes. Although, funnily enough, I actually found some laundry detergent in a few of the Refugios, and we used that. So, laundry bag. This one next. So these are the clothes that I carried. Again, in a waterproof dry bag, so this was perfect. The backpack got wet quite a few times, and the clothes are always dry. So, love these ultralight waterproof bags. I think they're the best. Puffer jacket, Patagonia, probably a little bit heavier weight than I needed. So I could have probably taken a lighter weight puffer jacket, because you are inside, buildings, inside a tent most of the time. You're not really living outdoors, once you get into camp. So probably a bit heavier than was necessary, but I like it. So yeah, I could have taken a lighter weight version of that, because that's pretty heavyweight. Pack towel, definitely use that lots of times, so that was worth taking. Here's the sun shirt. I had planned to walk in a sun shirt, long sleeve shirt. I would normally wear this in Australia bushwalking, just for the extra protection. I thought I would wear it, but didn't. So that actually stayed in the pack the whole time. I think next time I'll take a second t-shirt for in the evenings, and so just the same as that Patagonia shirt. So that's my sun shirt. Didn't use that. I took 2 pairs of spare underpants, but again, so I definitely wore, one of those at night while my other ones were drying. I probably could have got away with one extra set. So 2 sets of those, could have got away with one, and I chose to wash every night. One really lightweight pair of long pants, just for getting around the Refugios at night. These are fine, they don't weigh very much, and I definitely do those again. They're not warm at all, so I need to layer these up with thermal long pants if I wanted to be warmer, but lightweight, compact. I could have done shorts instead, but and wore those over the top of my thermals, but I think that was a good little strategy. And 2 pairs of spare socks. I probably could have got away with one, because I wash my daily socks every day, so I probably could have got away with just 1 pair for a night. So basic strategy was 1 pair of walking clothes and 1 pair of evening clothes, and that would have been enough. But I had a spare pair of socks and a spare pair of undies, just in case. Could have saved a couple 100 grams, maybe 100 grams if I didn't take those. So they were all in a waterproof dry bag, which kept everything dry. What else have we got in here? Sleeping stuff for camping. Again, in a waterproof dry bag. It kept everything dry, which is great. We only used the camping stuff once. I'm glad we took it, but and everyone else on the trail actually was also doing the same thing, because no one really knew whether the Refugios were going to be open, so everyone had camping gear. You can make use, I understand, of the winter rooms in some of them. We couldn't find the winter rooms, and I understand some people are locked out, so I think it's always good to have a backup to set up camp wherever you are. So I like to be independent. Dry bag. That was great. Inside that, so definitely needed this. This is my sleeping bag liner or sheet. Definitely needed that for the Refugios, so use that every night, and that's great. We just got a little silk blend one, not warm but not bad. Definitely be using that again, and good for the sleeping bag to keep that clean. My pillow is not ultra light, but I like it. Been through a few different versions of this, and I think that's pretty good. It's a little Cedar Summit inflatable pillow. My sleeping mat, Cedar Summit, it's their ultralight version. It is insulated. It was pretty cold the night we camped. It got down to 0 or just below, so that was probably necessary, and would have been a good option if we had have camped in some of the higher camps too, but we didn't because of the weather. So sleeping mat, and my new and used 2 or 3 times Spark sleeping bag. This is their Spark 2. It's good down to about -4, and then you can layer it up with, you know, your liners and your fleece pants and whatever. So pretty happy with that. That's really lightweight, 500 grams. So that's my sleep system there. All put in a dry bag, and pretty good. Happy with that. And this is finally our tent. So Customs opened this up and shook it out. That weighs 1.3 kilos, I think. We did take some extra tent pegs just because of high wind on high passes if we needed to camp up high, and to put the grounds, you know, put the guy lines out, but we didn't really need it. So yeah, 1.3 kilos. It uses the trekking poles as the tent poles, and I like this very much. The 2-person tent, it's got a full liner, no footprint. The base is enough to get away without a footprint, and it's good for 4 seasons, this tent too. So yeah, very happy with that. And that, I think, is that. Well, this is nothing else in there. Done. So there you go. That's what we took for the TMB. As I said, camping, we planned to camp 3 nights. I ended up camping 1 night, so you can get away with it, but I think just for shoulder season trekking, which we loved, definitely needed to sleep, this sort of stuff. But yeah, that's what we took.